Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we will talk about something that's kinda painful but super important. We will discuss how someone with a really good student profile got their visa rejected in under 2 minutes. The student had some international awards, meaningful extracurriculars, and a solid university, but still got the rejection slip. So today I'm gonna break down exactly what went wrong, not just what they said, but how they said it, so you do not repeat the same mistakes in your interview. So here is the deal. The student applied to UMass Amherst for a bachelor's in economics with a 45% scholarship. They had done A levels, won a bronze medal at an international economic competition, which is honestly pretty impressive. And they had a bunch of supporting documents, bank statements, property papers. It sounds solid, right? So, what went wrong? Now, let's work through each part of what they said, and I will explain what the visa officer might have been thinking. So first, the visa officer asked some classic question: why this university? So the applicant said, last year I attended a bronze award at the World Economics Cup held in China, and then afterwards I was searching for research intensive universities. I found UMass Amherst to be the great fit for me. So here's where the first crack showed up. Instead of giving a clear and simple reason, they started off by talking about how they won an international award and then said they were searching for research universities and also mentioned a professor work. Now, all of that sounds impressive, but here's the thing. The officer didn't ask, tell me about your awards. They asked, why this university? So when you lead with your award, it kind of feels like you are trying to justify why you are worthy, instead of clearly saying that this university is my perfect fit because of da da da. What this does is it confuses the focus. It's like you are telling a different story than what the question asked for. And the worst thing is that there is no mention of why she or he would come back to his home country with this degree. That's what the officer really wants to hear, your future plans, not just your past glory. Next, the visa officer asked how many universities you applied to. So they said 10 universities, which is fine, no issue. But when the visa officer asked name your top 3 choices, and here's where it got awkward. The student listed Purdue, Michigan Ann Arbor, and Boston University, but didn't mention the university he was going to attend. Now think about that for a second. Imagine telling an officer, I'm going to UMass, but when asked your top choices, you don't even name it. It kind of shows me maybe not you are not fully committed to this one. It makes it look like you were just desperate to get any US university and this was the one that gave you an offer. So you are taking it. That's a big red flag. It makes the officer feel like you are not genuinely choosing that school because it fits your goal. You are just looking for a ticket to the US. Then came the question, who is your sponsor? The student said, my father will bear all my expenses. Now, here is why that's not the best way to frame it. The student got a 45% scholarship. That's a big achievement. But the way they answered, they kind of threw the detail away. They made it sound like the dad is paying for everything, which isn't true. Also, by ignoring the scholarship, they missed a chance to show that the university trusts them enough to invest money in them, which is a huge proof of credibility. So, a better way to say it would have been something simple like, I have received a 45% scholarship and my father will cover the remaining expenses. It's short, clear, and it shows both achievement and a financial backup. Next, the officer asked what the father does. The student explained that their dad is an assistant vice president at a bank, which is great, but then they added that he also owns a consultancy and agricultural venture. Now, on paper, that sounds strong, but in a 2-minute interview, dumping all of the extra details sometimes backfires. It can look like you are trying too hard to prove your family's wealth and stability. The officer only asked what your father does. A simple answer would be, he is an assistant vice president at the bank. This would be enough. If they wanted to know more, they would ask. So here, it just made the answer longer than it needed to be. And remember, the officer has only a couple of minutes to judge your intent. Too much detail can feel like you are over explaining. And now, the one that really messed things up is this one. When the officer was typing, the student suddenly added, "Oh, by the way, the US ambassador visited our agricultural venture in 2014. I have the report and pictures if you would like to see." Now look, maybe that visit is a proud moment for the family, but for a student visa interview, is it worth it? It has nothing to do with his studies or his plan to come back. It just looked like he is trying to impress the officer with irrelevant details, or like he is desperate to prove some connection with the US. And that's exactly what you do not want to do. It breaks the natural flow of the interview and makes you look overly eager, and desperation is a huge red flag for any visa officer. So if you put all this together, the answers felt more like justifications than genuine. There was no strong link to how they will use this degree to come back home. There was no focus on clear future plan. And instead of showing confidence in their own profile, they tried to pile on extra details, hoping that the more info they gave, the more genuine they would seem. But here's the real secret: the less is more. The more you talk, the more you risk saying something unnecessary or confusing. The officer isn't there to be impressed by your entire life story. They want a clear and direct proof of that you are a legit student with a clear reason to return back to your home. So if you're watching this and you are preparing for your F1 interview, here's the takeaway. When they ask you why you choose your university, answer the why simply and link it to your future in your country. When they ask who is paying, mention your scholarship first and then explain the rest if needed. And please do not volunteer extra information nobody asked for. Be calm, stay focused, and trust that your genuine answers are enough. You do not need to overprove anything. So yeah, this student's profile was good, but the way they handled those 2 minutes cost them that visa. I hope this background helps you to see how the small slip-ups can be the result of your rejection. If this helped you, give it a like, share it with a friend who is stressing about their interview, and hit the subscribe for more real visa advice. And if you have got any questions, drop them in the comments. I will see you there. And remember to keep it simple, keep it genuine, and you have got this. See you in the next one.